fucking crapshoot right now for me because there's 6 people. I've got to pick from the 5.
Yeah.
I've got Dick and Danielle trying to come up with some kind of idea. I really, I really feel like I want to target Jameka. I really do. I'm scared to death that if she survives next week, I'm doomed. But then again, I can't think 2 weeks in ahead. I got to think for next week, and I'm just trying to figure out what to do. But then that means that I've got to put somebody else up, either one of those two. I have to figure out a way in which to ensure that whatever I want to happen is to happen.
Right.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been in the position yet, so I don't even know how it is. But I think as it gets closer and closer to the end, I'm sure it's harder and harder every time. From my point of view, I wanted to just give you time to, like, I didn't want to. I don't like when people jump up all frantically. Oh God, we got to. I like, let it all sit in, let the person take a moment to collect their thoughts, and then, obviously I did want to speak to you.
I mean, just keep thinking about the numbers, because, like, I mean, for me right now, I don't have to worry for this week, but for next week, depending on, you and Jessica have a good relationship, Dick and Danielle have a good relationship, one of you two, so whoever wins, it could be a 1-1 vote, then the HOH would decide. It could be 2 on one side. I don't know. I'm so thinking about that moreover than what's going on here that I really haven't. It's difficult for me to really figure out what to do. I want to do what honestly puts me in the best scenario for next week, and I don't know what that is. I've got people giving me ideas, and I'm totally willing to hear what you have to say for stuff too. I don't know.
Well, this is what I want to say.
It's a hard decision for me to make.
This is what I want to say. I'm not here to really tear other people down. I actually would rather go over some of the things we've kind of already discussed and some of the sort of existing things that I know to be true, not speculate on what you may be thinking or what other people may be doing towards me, so on and so forth. Well, first things first, you're going to do what you have to do. And I understand that. But at least based on the dialogue that we had yesterday, I was going forward with the assumption that if the vote came in as the vote came in, because that's what you had said the last time, that it was assumed that we were going to do a go-ahead with what we discussed. And I wish we had the chance to discuss it prior to either of us winning, because then it's like, I don't, want to try and go, after the fact and say, oh, I just want to make sure, blah, 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 blah. But I was going with the assumption that what we discussed in the gym was a sealed, sort of agreement. And, you had indicated at the time it wasn't something that you were doing with other people. It wasn't something that you had customarily done or in your wheelhouse, but something that you were willing to do. And it was kind of left that if it comes down to 2 or it comes down 3-1 and you see that it goes in your favor, that, it will be an acknowledgement that it was done and sort of agreed upon. And obviously it means nothing now, but it was my intention to clearly honor that if I won as well.
I understand that.
So I can say it is up to you, but I guess it was sort of my expectation that did hold value. I mean, as you had stated numerous times in our conversations as to reasons to keep you and so on and so forth, was that, your word was good, your word was your bond, that when you wouldn't go back on your brother and what have you. And, I took that to heart, and that was a main motivating factor.
Right.
Believe it or not, I actually meant a lot more to me than hers at this point, and that's why I indicated to you that if this is something that we can pull off, I really would like you to be here, so long as it's not going to be the thing that for the rest of my life I'm sitting here thinking I kept him and then he fires back at me. So you had that fear, I had that fear, we had the I think for that reason,
I agree.
to safeguard against that.
I guess the one thing with that conversation that still echoes through my head that that you can't correct, that just bothers me is no. Happens, then I don't know. Then there's definitely, at least strategically in my mind, with who remains on who to choose to go home, that Jameka will go. There's no guarantee. Like if, for instance, you were to win POV, you pull Jess off.
I'm telling you, for a 100% matter of fact, and I've discussed this with Jessica, and regardless of the fact that they're close, I am telling you, if you put Jameka up, and I want you to, and that's part B of this conversation, she will go home. I promise you. I will guarantee you my vote. That I promise you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I will vote Jameka out, whoever she's against. I don't care if she's against Dick or Danielle. I won't try and take it as an opportunity to, screw one of them out. I don't care, how the scenario configures. If you put her up, we will fight our asses off to make sure that she stays up, and we will send her
I'm not
home.
worried. I mean, I know that she'll stay up, but if, like you said, you would take Jess off. Well, if I take Jess off, then I can flip a coin. I put Dick or Danielle up. I don't care. Whatever.
And they should understand that they're the only other two options.
Well,
it wouldn't upset them,
but then,
in any way.
Right, but then
I'm telling you,
obviously Danielle wouldn't vote for Dick out.
I'm telling you, it's a guaranteed. Well, you want Jameka out in that scenario, right?
I want Jameka out.
Right. I'm telling you, it's a guaranteed vote. You have whoever's. If that scenario were to happen, which is, of course, like a 1 in 25 chance of it happening anyway, when you have all the various configurations that would require her being up, me not being up, me winning, me doing this, blah, blah, blah,
right.
blah, blah. And one of Dick or Danielle go up, whoever, they decide, you decide, whatever the case may be, they're going to have, obviously, their own vote. And I'm telling you my vote as well. And I'm dead serious. I don't have any problems with Jameka, but I see the exact same things in Jameka that you do. We will all get our asses worked by her in the final vote. She has good favor in the House and out of the House. If I wanted to go around playing with these people, why would I have voted out Dustin and Amber? I made a conscious choice that was done a month ago, and that's not my desire. Another thing, and I think that this should place, and I think this should have value to you because I know that you think analytically the same way I do. If I wanted you out, if I wanted to weaken you or Dick and Danielle or whatever the case may be, I would have voted you out and you wouldn't be here.